So in this video, we're gonna move the kitchen light switch out of the living room and into the kitchen.
Where it belongs.
And this is the switch under the cabinet in the kitchen. And here's the wall without the switch, all patched up. So let's cut the access out so we can reach all the wires and move that light switch. Oh, there you go. Secure the old switch box to the stud. Make sure your wires are tight. I tighten up all the wires like that, so now there's no way that these are gonna separate. There's no way. The house would have to collapse before these two would stop working together. So our light switch is now removed, and we're gonna make sure all these wire connections are tight and secure inside that box. Let's probably get this plate in and this plate in. Putting our hard metal plates in so there's no screws that can puncture the wires. Junction box sealed, no issues. Now we're adding a custom-made plate because we didn't want to drill holes through the stud because these studs are load-bearing for the bathroom. So we actually just made this plate and we're screwing it to protect those wires.
Wow.
Wire safe. So we're gonna have to do a staple here. Now we're snipping our wires that are feeding the light switch correctly to the light in the kitchen.
Box time.
To indicate which way the light is going, you know? So now you have to break this down a little bit. Now we should be able to test.
Look at them cute kitties. Ready? It works. Nice.
Let's button it up.
Put on the plates, shove it all in.
Screw in the new light switch. It's actually the old one that we reused. And we're just gonna tighten the plate. Just gonna quickly do some wood. Put this all in here. Mudding is another day. I'm gonna leave it all ready to mud after. And we're also gonna have to sand. You're gonna have to sand with the sander because I need this to recess. So it's not humpy.
It's gonna be a day.
So put the old outlet back. It's all connected. And actually, if you see, we had Fios ran, and this is the walls, and all the patches are in with the wood. But we had Fios ran, which was a huge upgrade over Comcast. I will never use Xfinity ever again. Anyway, I'm getting ready to patch up my walls. So the fun part is now you have to V-channel. So we got all these pieces in, nice and tight. But now you want to channel it with a V, right? You want to carve it a V.
So that really just means to make a valley with the space.
Because you want the stuff to go in and then you want it to kind of perforate nice. You don't want hard edges like this because how are you going to get mud in there?
Yeah.
You want to valley it out for the mud to sit nice. Now we're going to make sure that all those valleys are cut before we mud because if, like I said, we just mud over it, you will see them crack again, which is no good.
One eternity later.
No, I really wish I was joking. This was literally about a year or so later. Like, it's crazy that we still have the footage from all this. But anyway, let's get back into it. Oh, and that also means that clearly our electrical work was good because we haven't burned down yet. Finally doing it. We're getting to it. Time to mud the drywall. You've already seen how we did it with the, pieces, you left over, you don't waste. Notice is we can't just mud over this. Why? Because this wall and this wall are flush. So if these two are flush right here and you go to mud over it, you're gonna get a big blister of a hump. You'll see it on the lighting like this. You'll see a huge hump here. So you can't do that. So what do? We're gonna sand this down and we're gonna actually take down these layers a little bit and recess this area so it's below level so that when we do drywall, it should blend and look pretty level. So we're actually gonna use our hand sander, the machine sander, the orbital, because doing it by hand, no way. So right now we're just going over every single valley and line to make sure it's recessed so that when we do mud, it is not going to be a hump. We sanded it down. See that line under here of light?
Yep.
Low spot. So when I go to feather it, I really just want to feather in this edge here. And then I'll do a light skim coat to kind of like float this out a little bit like this. Just to kind of do a really light skim, but same thing here. Light underneath shows you where it is that's low. That will need Zinsser. It's a primer that seals the paper because the paper will bleed through. And a quick time lapse of us cleaning up and vacuuming up all that dust. So we sanded it down. That's the hardest part. Now, this is where the artist comes out. Next part, Zinsser. Alrighty, so she's now doing this only over the cardboard areas. Let it dry, time to eat. By the time we get back, time to mud.
We're ripping the tape for the wall to prep it. We're gonna pre-fill, put the tape up, and then do a nice little thin layer. So right now we're just sizing everything up, pre-measuring. So when we go to do it, we can just bam, 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 bam.
Do not use joint compound. This stuff hardens harder, more solid, and it's more structural. Joint compound will crack. So this is PVA glue and water mixture. This helps get a little bit more adhesion. Saw this trick from Vancouver Carpenter, and it's worked phenomenally in all of on oil-based walls that don't have really good adhesion. You don't feel like sanding the whole wall down. You use TSP, it should be enough, but sometimes it still delaminates. With the glue trick, it's been phenomenal. We said we wanted to do HGTV, right? We wanted to do repairs and show them how it's done, just like the other guys do it on the show, make it look easy. All right, we're getting into it. You're just gonna press it into the gaps. That's literally it. And then yes, we are taping over it after. But right now, you don't want any splits. See that big hole? We're just gonna press that in there and rub it both ways. This is called pre-filling stage. So that's glue and water. You show them the bottle of glue?
Well done.
They're gonna just tape and throw it across. All right, so now we're gonna hold here and you're gonna hold it tight and then we're gonna pull. And then same thing here. Look at that. So we're gonna keep taping now that we've already pre-filled. We're gonna tape and then squeeze out all that mud underneath so it's nice and flat when it rests. And then after you tape, you can do nice skim coats over top and again, try to go as flat as possible, but you wanna hide that paper tape and then it will float out and make sure the outside surrounding edges are nice and feathered to the wall. So it's pre-fill, then tape, then skim coat with the easy sand, and then you're gonna finish it up with a sand and joint compound. So we're letting this dry. And you can use a hairdryer to speed it up carefully. And then we're sanding it, and then we're gonna use our joint compound after. And we sand that, and it's time for paint. Look at that, patch is done, sanded. Let's zoom in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can barely see it, but those are the patches. Let me show you the light test. Let's look at the texture. Wall, wall, drywall. I know it's hard to see, but you use a light to see it. But look at that, that's drywall. Drywall, and look, we're going up into the paint. There's the paint. There's more texture right now in the regular wall than there is in the actual drywall mud. Yep, go ahead, she's gonna apply the paint. And then we're gonna be done. She's rolling, look how good the blend is. Oh my goodness. And there's the after, just like that. All finished, no other issues. Pretty good. It is all done.
That's how you move a light switch from this section to the other side of the wall.
And how you fix the damage when you're done in drywall without paying hundreds of dollars, which we know people have been charged thousands of dollars for this repair, easily 1,500 bucks. Anyway, that's how you do it. Yay. Again, there's the old light switch position, and then here's the new one. Yep, it works. And here's the finished product. Only took a year and a half.